Hey, everybody, welcome to Comic Book Curation. I'm Polly, and joining me, as always, is Inquisitor 8.1 Quiz. How you doing this week?
I'm doing all right. How about you, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing okay, I guess. I just loaded up Discord, or no, not Discord, Streamlabs, and look, the Streamlabs icon is the pride flag. Yay! So, you know what that means, right?
Wait, really? I don't see that.
Well, yeah, in the top left-hand corner, I just loaded up Streamlabs on my second laptop where I do Streamlabs through, or where I look at Streamlabs, and it's the little
Oh,
ring.
yeah.
See it?
The little rainbow. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I see
So
it now.
what we can deduce from this is that they have abandoned Black Lives Matter and have gone full Pride Month, the bastards.
Right?
You
I
can
can't
only
believe.
you can only support one worldview at a time. At least that's what I've led to believe by being on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
What a I don't want to do a stream. It's nothing but griping, but it's a rough time to not gripe. You know what I mean? Like, damn.
Well, it's the sort of thing I've taken to the logical extent that all you got to do is just kind of like point, laugh, go, "Heh," and then move on. Because
Yeah,
these people themselves have the attention spans of goldfish, so why give them any more consideration in your mind?
I because they well, yeah, but I mean, the short attention span is a large part of the problem because, like, they move from like outrage to outrage to outrage so goddamn fast, and use like comic books and movies and things of that sort as like, this is transphobic, this is Islamophobic, this is sexist, racist, whatever the fuck, and then they move on to something else and something else and something else. Like, I mean, it's the speed, and of course, the problem really inlay that the editors and the people that are in charge of these intellectual properties don't resist them even slightly. They're just like, yeah, we agree, we'll totally change our thing for you. Right. I don't know, man. Hello?
Hello.
Oh, okay. The fuck is just no bants. What happened? Okay, so
I'm sorry. I'm very much a male. I'm one track mind here. When I'm typing something out in chat,
oh,
I
you were
kind of have to
typing. Oh,
focus on
fair
that
enough.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, well. Yeah. And chat, I will ask, as I always do about this time, that let us know if our mics are out of whack, like if somebody's louder than somebody else, because I can't trust the level meters on OBS. They lie to me all the time. People are like, so and so's really quiet, and I'm like, it looks like they're louder than I am, according to OBS, but you know.
Hmm. Well, you have to monitor the clipping. That's where you really kind of are able to tell what's louder than what. So
Yeah. Well,
it's unfortunate.
yeah. Becca says Polly and Quiz get no love. Nah, we get plenty of love. We also get plenty of hate. How do you know? Because Evolved Potatoes here. That's
Yeah, right.
speaking of which, thank you, Evolved Potato, for posting our links in chat to Streamlabs, where you can support the show and all of the fun things that we do here, so we can buy comics that are full of terrible indoctrination for young people.
Dude, okay, again, I don't buy any of these comics.
shh, don't admit to piracy in public, man. Fuck.
Yo ho, blow the man down. Yeah, no, I'm not going to buy any comic that's going to preach to me. I'm perfectly willing to just buy comics that I enjoy. Fuck all the other ones. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well,
Just
I
saying.
mean, we're going to talk about some of the comics that I legit want to buy. Not even digital comics because I want to read them. I want the paper floppy edition, the glossy edition. There's some special editions I came across I didn't even know existed until today, and I want to show them because it's like, I want to own this. I need this in my life and on my bookshelf, man.
Yeah. Let's say, yeah, and here's the thing, like before it's been kind of a running joke for me. It's like, what have you been reading? What have you been reading? Oh, I haven't really been reading all that much. I actually have been reading a comic this time around. Uh,
Lo and behold,
I know. I've went and cracked open White Knight. It was given to me as a gift,
okay,
and it's really good so far.
yeah, White Knight is good. A lot of
Yeah.
people have problems with it, and I'm not really. Yeah, whatever. If somebody has a problem with something, there's a lot bigger fish to fry, is what I'm getting at in terms of problems with what's going on in comics. A story that you didn't exactly like isn't a problem that you need to get irate over it. We're
Yeah.
popping up chat here. Oh, Del Hayes was the first one here. What's up, then? Hey, Camel, Val Potato, Richo, Shady. What's up, Shady? Lurking Gopher is probably lurking. Michael Hatfield and Ryan Walters. What's up, Mandy G? Michael Hatfield again. And Gamer Valine. How's it going, Gamer? And old guy gamers here. And Keenan. Scrolling. Becca. I think I just start repeating people because I have the memory of goldfish when it comes to these things. Tyler and Hate Camel. And a bunch of people, as I scroll down there, were asking about Jack. Don't know where Jack is. Jack has a life. He has things. He can fall asleep or get busy with friends. It happens. Just don't know where Jack is tonight. But he's got the link. He can pop in at any time. We're fully expecting. He can crash the show, man. We were waiting around for a while for Jack to come by. We were talking in DMs, and he didn't think we were going to do a show tonight because we were running a little bit late, and so he might have. I don't know, but yeah, it's.
I agree with functional. 5 polys a month.
That's all it takes. Look,
all it takes.
If you don't have 5 polys a month, what you're really saying is that your ability to organize your polys is so bad that you can't support the content that you're currently enjoying for free. I just
Speaking of the anti-thought like that, though, Belle Delphine is apparently back.
Yeah, I heard. Okay, I got a point to this. This is funny. Evolve Potato says, I normally don't say this, Polly, but you're a bit quiet. Fucking dick. All right, here, let me adjust myself here. Because you try and get the levels, right? Where it's like green, yellow, red. Red is peaking. So you want it where it's just threatening to touch the red. You know? And
yes.
Yeah, I'm full on into red, guys. All right. Just tune me up a little bit here.
I'd say it's really unfortunate because I can't tell. Being in the Hangout is not what's being, projected across your OBS.
Yeah.
So I can't help you with it locally.
So. I have a family to take care of. I can't waste my time trying to herd polys. See, that doesn't track. Okay.
That really doesn't track.
She actually used that phrase. That doesn't track. You just called your audience a bunch of fucking liars that during the COVID shut-in, they ain't got no money. I'm never going to let that go. That was so mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, no, fuck that cunt. Everyone should always point that out into eternity until Tyrannosaurus Rex leaves the internet.
Okay, let me tell you something about Tyrannosaurus Rex. The most annoying thing, because you were so firm on the subject that it's not her, it's them, meaning the ones that support her. Because if it wasn't for the people that are willing to, stand for these girls out there like that, they wouldn't exist. And I'm like, no, fuck that. I mean, yeah, I agree, they're bad, but they're moronic, they're weak, they're soft. What are you doing with your life? But
yeah.
It's the girls that are manipulating people. Like, yeah, you gotta, stand in judgment of people that are so easily manipulated. In my opinion, that doesn't absolve the manipulator of open mockery, was my main point. And so let's mock Tyrannosaurus Rex. I mean,
no, I can agree with that. I can agree with that 100%. Yeah, fuck Tyrannosaurus Rex. Into forever and back. Never let her forget her errors in judgment. I do also levy a lot of criticism on the simps as well.
Yeah.
Simps that are so willing to easily throw away their money on the Pokemanes of the world and the everything. I see, that's the thing. That's the reason why I actually do have a lot of healthy respect for Belle Delphine, because she is in that same category, but mocks it.
Mm-hmm.
Like she has a whole song today talking about the simp nation rise up.
Yeah, I mean, and ham and beans, I wouldn't even take Tyrannosaurus Rex to the Olive Garden. I hear you, and good, but the thing that sticks with me after all was said and done, what happened? There's followers and subscribers over on Twitch, right? You can follow someone and it just kind of, as I understand it, just tells you when they're streaming or whatever. And then subscribing is what they went for. The $5 is, is what she was trying to amass as many subscribers as possible. What did the whole thing do? People talk about how she lost 90,000 followers in a day. And you can look up on Social Blade. Yeah, Tyrannosaurus Rex did lose 90,000 followers. I don't know how many subs she lost, but look at it now. She's got more subs than when it started because it just brought attention to her and the simps came running. God, that's depressing, Quiz. This was a financial success for her.
Yeah.
All of the embarrassment, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, you know the gold digging, money grubbing thing that she is. You know what she's sitting around saying? Fuck all the people who hated on me. They're only hating on me because I was a woman, because that was her original claim. It's only women who deal with this stuff on Twitch. Oh, yeah, right. No guys get bombed on social media ever. It's just you, short skirt girl with the leggings. Fuck. What a bunch of bullshit. The only difference between you and a man is that they can't make that fucking victim claim.
Yeah. Well, and no man is gonna sit there and say, guys, I produce content for you guys to watch. You owe me $5 for this content, because people are gonna sit there and say, motherfucker, no, I don't, and then they're gonna unsubscribe and leave. A girl can sit there and sit in judgment while wearing her short ass fucking skirt and big old thigh highs, and people are gonna sit there and say, yes, honey, and continue to fucking pay.
Yeah.
Fuck that. No, they need to be held to the same standard. If a man can't get away with it, she sure fuck can't.
Well, okay, Hate Camel makes a good point. Wait, wasn't Tyrannosaurus Rex asking for 10, and it was the screaming girl who was like all legged up in the chair that was screaming $5? You got me there, Hate Camel. I'm not actually, like, I'm not in the knowledgeable about the ways of Twitch. Can you set your donation amount? Because I remember her talking about the $10 for, you know, that's like a meal and so forth. So yeah, I remember that.
Tyrannosaurus Rex does, when it came right down to it, yeah, she was asking for $5. Saying, you know, it's 10 and 20 and stuff like that. That's for like the premium thottery, where you get access to her Minecraft server or whatever.
So so the individual creator on Twitch can set their subscriber amounts with tier levels and everything?
Yes.
Okay.
And $5 is the minimum donation subscription tier.
Yeah. And the Asian Research Directorate, nice name by the way, says mans don't have bosoms to shimmy for the bucks. Well, that's another critical difference. It's like a guy could sit there in a short skirt, but you're going to get all the attention that the Deerkin does in her homemade camo skirts. You've seen that thing, right?
Well, I thought it was made out of like neckties.
It might be. It might be. I don't know. It looked like a grass skirt kind of thing made of strips of fabric that I honestly thought were woodland camo fabric. I got nothing. Thank you, Gamer Valine, for the $5. These are girls that were the prettiest in their graduating class of 30. Keep anything mediocre and develop other skills. It works. Keep the bar really low. Yeah, that's a good question. You remember when did you watch Invader V's apology speech?
Oh yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Right. Okay. So did I, unedited, because I wanted to see the whole thing, and 5 minutes before and after it started, like her going into playing Breath of the Wild, I believe it was.
It was Animal Crossing, I think, but
she started playing. Well, and okay, anyway, she repeated often how she grew up poor. I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you grew up rich, but I'm not buying this, you know, Tyrannosaurus Rex from the hood bullshit.
She had to struggle, yo.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like, I know what it was like to. No, you don't. I'm just not buying that. I don't think you grew up super rich. I'm not picking that up from you. Maybe you did, but I doubt it. I just don't get that sense off of you. And it fits in too well with your I'm the victim here narrative for you to say something like that. When you could have just easily have said, mocking somebody's financial situation is just plain old wrong, especially during COVID, full stop. To go into, I also grew up poor, so therefore give me your money. See that now that doesn't track.
Yeah. Well, see, no, the one thing that I think, if I can play a little bit of devil's advocate, a little apologia here, when it comes to this sort of thing, I think that's just the mentality of a lot of people nowadays. The way a lot of people relate is they will go into personal anecdotes. That's how a lot of people will get around these sorts of issues. So her doing that meant that she was trying to empathize with the people who were saying, "I'm not giving you money because I'm on hard times here."
Right.
And the problem is it was coming off disingenuous as fuck. And I didn't believe her, growing up in the school of hard knocks for a fucking microsecond. So
Yeah,
yeah,
Midnight says that apology speech was pure sociopathy. Yeah, it
yeah,
had those elements in it. I hear you, because
yeah, yeah.
just how straight she was sitting. The fact that the thighs were now covered up with stockings that went all the way up, no longer Tyrannosaurus Rex. Right, all of her plushies were gone. Right, it's just I need to get rid of the cuteness for a hot second. While I'm doing this, and I'm going to sit there with my hands, and she is, in my opinion, reading talking points off of something that was behind the camera, because she's not looking at the camera lens, which she normally is when she's talking. She's looking right at the camera lens, therefore talking to the audience. The camera lens is like at a 15-degree angle off to the right of her. She's reading off of a fucking whiteboard, in my opinion, of
You're
things
right.
to say. Make sure you bring up your own, hard upbringing. Make sure that you claim that you got drawn into an argument. You didn't get drawn into an argument. Somebody simply said in chat that I would like to support you, but can't afford it right now. And then you went, well, no, what you're really saying is that's not an argument. That was you over responding to something that someone said with a whole bunch of harsh bullshit. All the sociopathy thing that Midnight just mentioned. Yeah, it's like a complete inability to detect the emotions of others, a complete lack of empathy. Yeah, sociopathy.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you have a problem, but I'm told that you do, so I will say things. You know what I mean?
And it wouldn't be me if I didn't do it, Polly. I think it's supposed to be pronounced sociopathy.
Maybe if you're in Britain.
Oh, okay. Is that how? Is that true?
You damn
I've
limey
only,
lover.
I've only ever heard it sociopathy.
It very well might be. When I was in undergrad, we called it sociopathy, but
Oh,
you should hear some of the ways that people pronounce psychopharmacology. I mean, it maybe.
okay. At least it's not something like, was it pneumonoultrascophilocalvicaniconiosis,
Fuck, I hate that, especially on the weekends.
Yeah, right?
What is that?
I hate it's black lung.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, I do hate that on the weekends.
it's the longest word in the English language.
That's
And it's
like black lung,
mm,
coal miners black lung.
yeah, it's
Okay,
it's the medical terminology for the black lung.
got it. Ugh. So we got lots of things going on this week. Lots of unfortunately depressing stories that your boy Zach, who I'm a big fan of, Richard C. Meyer. He,
Mhm.
because he spent time in the military for a Marine and into the Army and so forth, multiple tours, he has a tendency to express things in military terms, which is understandable. But he talked about like nodes of critical infrastructure at some point, and which is what you do when you invade a place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or a given geographical area. It's like, why would you want to take the capital if their water treatment plant and their electric plant is outside of town? You take the nodes of critical infrastructure first, like meaning water treatment, their weapons plants if they're available. Taking
Centers of government.
yeah, like taking the White House is far less important than taking the Pentagon.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, like along those lines, right? It's there's critical infrastructure that are out there. They exist in concentrated places, nodes. Go after those first. And this was his way of describing, like in those military terms, what SJWs are up to. Notice how it's like, why don't you just create characters of your own? Because it's much more powerful and sends a much more powerful social message when a character is gender swapped, when a character is race swapped. That's conquering a critical node of cultural infrastructure. When Captain America is speaking against the American government, that's more powerful than a newly created character speaking against the American government.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you get someone like Ta-Nehisi Coates to put his bullshit social theory, his racist bullshit social theory in Captain America's dialogue. That's why they got him to write Captain America, for that purpose. And to say that this Marvel Comics, it was a huge virtue signal for them to do it as well. Notice how they cheer when somebody like Ta-Nehisi Coates starts writing Captain America, when somebody like Mark Waid teams up with Kwanzaa Osajeffo.
Mhm.
It's a big victory for them, and they view it as a victory because remember the article that we especially me, I'll own it, flipped out over.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you very much, Becca, for the $20, and you get a naked Ava Green for that because I once again forgot to turn off the Noir Bar pop-ups, but it's okay because sexy naked green. Becca, thank you for the $20, and she says just because. Oh, it's the best kind. Just because. Thank you so much, Becca. You're awesome. The article that we got so pissed off about, where it was like it gets butts and seats. Remember?
Gets butts and seats. You know,
Yeah.
say we still quote it.
Yeah.
To this day.
It was for those of you who don't remember, it was an op-ed that was published in I'm pretty sure it was The Guardian.
It was one of those. It was like either WAPO or HuffPo or
Yeah.
The Guardian.
I don't even think it was as low ranking as HuffPo. I think it was like The Guardian or Washington Post or something like that. I should go back and look it up, and I should retweet that. I really should. Remember this? I do.
Yeah, I will never forget.
Because it was so bad, chat. It was a person arguing.
Well, it wasn't bad. It was them being honest for fucking once.
It was complete.
Thank you, Becca. Another 20. Also, just because. Thank you, Becca.
Thank you for donating to Inquisitors. Uwu.
No, cease.
What? No. Evolve Potato. He's putting it in there every time.
I know.
It's your uwu. Quiz loves the uwu. He's just shy about it. It's fine. In any case, it's her talking in a completely sober, unabashed manner, saying we want to. Comic movies are really popular right now. We don't really care about comic movies. What we care about is replacing everyone who's pale, male, and stale. Well, thanks for your racist, sexist ideal. Because that's exactly what that was.
Well, thank you for your candor, because you're actually being fucking honest for once. Yes, yeah.
And comic book movies, because they're popular right now, are a great vehicle for putting social messages through that everyone's going to get, because these movies get butts and seats, and then those people become subject to our messaging. Yeah, exactly. We had been yelling about that for the longest time, and it was like, oh, you guys are just angry because progress is happening. No, this is social manipulation. You goddamn well know what you're doing. In the same way that, what's her fucking name from DC Comics? She was brought in under the creator of the new Vertigo. She redid the Darkseid's enemies over on planet whatever. Oh shit, what's her name? I can picture her right now. She wears the problem glasses.
Not Zoe Quinn. Fuck. Yeah.
God damn it.
Hold on. Yeah, she's
Her name is just, I can picture her right now, and her name has just slipped my mind. In any case, she's one of the people that was a creative consultant over on the Captain Marvel movie. And she's talking about the scene in Captain Marvel in an interview where Captain Marvel breaks loose and she's flying around, and the No Doubt song.
Kelly Sue DeConnick.
Yeah, Kelly Sue DeConnick. Thank you. DeConnick is talking about how that scene in Captain Marvel where she's flying around, No Doubt's playing, like, I'm just a girl in the world. And she's like destroying everything. And she's like being like super awesome femme hero. And she actually had this lack of self-awareness to say this. That scene will be studied by women's studies majors and gender studies majors for years to come.
Yep.
She actually thinks that her work and the work of others like her is that fucking important that, I mean, she's not wrong, but it's because you are pandering to a very particular worldview when you do the things you do. You don't give a fuck about story. You don't give a fuck about comics or characters. This is just a vehicle for you to promote shit. So people in a fake ass bullshit, rigor lacking academic environment can say, oh, see, she's just a girl. And all that means is in the metaphors and all the other non-rigorous bullshit that they pump out of gender studies departments. Anyway, let's talk about some stories, shall we?
And the apologia for it too, with all of the legitimization of these maniacs. Yeah.
Oh my God. Chrome actually shared the screen with Quiz, and in the Hangouts, and it's not flashing, and it worked the first time. What are the odds?
Oh my God.
Odds.
I'm scared too.
Yeah. I love how well known all the people are. I just look back at chat, and it's Zoe Quinn, purple-haired weirdo, Tess Fowler. I mean, those were all really good. Max Visaggio, those are all really good guesses, guys. But it kills me how well known the pantheon of usual suspects is.
Yeah.
It just happened to be Deconic, but it easily could have been one of those others.
Yeah, very well could have been. Yeah, man, how narcissistic do you have to be Kelly Sue DeConnick too? Think about it that way.
She is absolutely convinced she's awesome.
My writing is so important that gender studies groups are going to study it in the future. I'm creating something with lasting power that's going to be studied in the future, guys. Fuck you.
Oh, and Jacob just showed up, and formerly Rodline, and Rough City Podcast. How's it going, everyone? Let's see. Oh, since we were just talking about how Richard Meyer put it, nodes of critical social infrastructure. Well, here's a fucking great one. Sources. Rumor: Star Trek: Strange New Worlds to change Captain Kirk's sexuality.
Okay, so is that then now that they are admitting that being gay is strange?
Right. Good call. But I mean, it's like, so you have Captain Kirk, strong leader type, ladies man, etc., etc. He's well known for this. Well, it's time to make him different because we want to signal to everybody that they can't create new things. They have to go after that which exists because it creates a more powerful statement. And James Tiberius Kirk has become the latest target thereof.
It gets butts in seats, Polly.
It does. A new rumor details that Alex Kurtzman, who I'm really starting to think might be Damien the Antichrist, the son of the devil, at this point. I have
no idea who this person is, but
I mean, obviously I don't mean that literally, but Jesus Christ, every time I hear something going horribly, horribly wrong with Star Trek, Alex Kurtzman it was his idea. I mean, would people stop hiring this guy and giving him... He's the showrunner creator behind Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Picard. He's the one who's running everything over at CBS Paramount and making all of their extremely bad decisions, all the social justice crap that you see coming. Alex Kurtzman is either the one that suggested it, okayed it, or sat there nodding along while someone else did it. So, yeah. Thanks, Kurtzman. A new rumor details that Alex Kurtzman and Viacom CBS will retcon the sexuality of Captain James T. Kirk in their newly announced Star Trek Strange New World show. Star Trek recently announced its Strange New Worlds in May, indicating it would be a spin-off of Star Trek Discovery focused on the adventures of Anson Mount's Captain Christopher Pike, Rebecca Romaine's number one. Quiz, look at this.
Huh.
You should be looking at the screen anyway, but
that's not how you spell number one.
We say
okay, here's the thing. I don't know if that's the fault of the people who are doing Star Trek or if that's the fact that Bounding into Comics needs an editor.
I say it every week. Bounding, I love you guys, man, but you really need to hire a fucking editor.
Well, again, here's the thing. I don't know if that's intentional or not. You know, I don't know if that's actually in the show, if they specifically misspelled number one.
Yeah.
Tell me that that's not a possibility.
Rebecca Romaine's number one. Okay.
Number one.
And Ian Peck Spock. The series is expected to follow Pike, blah, 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 blah. Writer Avica Goldsman, detailed that this show will combine episodic and serialized storytelling and will go back to classic Trek values. Oh, as you think of them. Because there's all sorts of shit that's going on in classical Trek that you're going to leave on the cutting room floor and pretend didn't happen. I see people over on fucking, on Memory Alpha that try and do that all the time. They pick and choose what Star Trek was promoting and say, this is it. It's like, yeah, what about all that other stuff? Oh, well, that's just because it was the 80s or because it was the late 60s. They had to do that. But this other thing, that was progress. Yeah, right. I can tell yourself another one. He explained, we're going to try and harken back to some classical Trek values, to be optimistic and to be more episodic. He went on to explain how the show will obviously embrace episodic storytelling. Obviously, we're going to take advantage of the serialized nature of character and story building. But I think our plots are more closed-ended than you've seen in earlier Discovery and Picard. Imagine to be closer to the original series than even DS9. Well, DS9 was, like, in the last few seasons, was not episodic at all. It was absolutely serial. So, what, buddy? Well, Goldman indicated the show would embrace more classical Trek values. The rumor details that Goldsman and company are tossing around the idea of including James T. Kirk in the show, as well as making him bisexual. Quiz.
Yes.
You know, okay, so we were talking about this like over in Discord, okay? For those of you who don't know what slash fic is, it's Kirk.
I pity your innocence.
And I'm about to bespoil it a little, all right? It's come to mean a lot of things, but as originally envisioned, it means this. You're shipping a couple of characters that normally wouldn't be shipped. So the idea is Edward / Jacob, Kirk / Spock. They're sexually involved, right? And hence slash fiction, because it's John / James. You see what I mean? So the two characters that you're shipping in a out of like you know, you're getting Spock and Kirk together sexually, and that doesn't happen in the show. So it's fanfic, and it's sexualized fanfic, and it's supposed to be it's erotic fanfic, usually homosexual, either female, male, male. And that's what slash fic generally was to begin with. This stuff has gone so far into retardation and stupidity and the need to make everything something else other than what it is. Like, you know, with Lando Calrissian being pansexual, the list just goes, and it's too long to fucking list here. Everybody knows it. Iceman's got to be gay. This person's got to be this. And it's always got to be characters that already exist are now being retconned as something else. You know, of course, 7 of 9 was always lesbian. We read that, or always queer. We read that story last week, right? They can't create new characters that are gay. It's got to be somebody else. Thank you very much, Mike Parlett, for the $5. I bet they don't even know about Kirk's brother. Fucking adults. Yeah, well, I mean, Harlan Ellison wrote a story where Kirk has a nephew, which is actually what the son of the brother that Mike Parlett just mentioned there, that grows up, he enters Starfleet, and he's gay. And okay, and there was he wrote this script, and he wanted it as part of TNG, and the story was Regulan bloodworms, and they were a parody for AIDS, for HIV rather. And it was deliberately Harlan Ellison. If you know his story writing history, he likes to be edgy as possible, and edgy in like there's a lot of eroticism in his writing. He likes to be erotically edgy, and there's a lot of drug edge to the stuff that he writes, psychedelics, things along those lines. The original storyline that he wrote for City on the Edge of Forever for the original series of Star Trek was about drug trading on board the Starship Enterprise, like that. People were doing drugs, basically. And one of the crew members gets high as fuck, and then the adventure ensues. Instead, when they rewrote the show, his script, they had Dr. McCoy accidentally gets injected with a drug that makes him go crazy. Okay. So, you know, Harlan Ellison is that kind of guy. He already wrote this story about Kirk's nephew being gay, and he just is. And he's involved with another member of the Enterprise crew, and a fan series called Star Trek Phase 2, originally Star Trek New Voyages, took that Ellison script by his permission and did it. And it's available as a 2-parter. It's called Blood and Fire. You can go on YouTube right now and watch it. Is
that the animated one that has Vic Mignogna in it?
Okay, the Vic Mignogna one isn't animated, but there was an animated Star Trek. But the Vic Mignogna one is no. That's a different one.
Oh, I thought that was animated. Sorry.
No. No, but the Vic Mignogna one's awesome. You should watch that one. No, this one is a different one earlier than Mignogna's attempt. If it's much more campier and cornier than Mignogna's one, which is a lot closer to the original TOS. But I mean, there it is, blood and fire. I mean, and that the Star Trek Phase 2 that I'm talking about. There's an episode that has George Takei reprising his role as Sulu. It has Walter Koenig reprising his role as Chekhov. There's some all right material in there, but it's really hard to get around how high school production the whole thing looks and is. It's just it's pretty rough at points, man.
Very amateur.
Yeah, you really feel it. But I liked it because it's a passion project. That's all any fan production is. That's what makes Vic Mignogna's series so awesome. It's also just a passion project for no money. They can't take profits off of this by Paramount's rules at the time, right? So they're dumping their own money into this, and this is all like a part-time thing for everyone to be doing. And some of it's done really awesome, some of it's bad. There's machinima stuff where Star Trek scripts they've written laid to I don't know what you want to call them, character sprites. Like they're just, you could probably explain that better than I can what machinima is.
Machinima is essentially like a puppet show. You're just using video game assets for the puppets.
Yeah. And I don't know how they do that, if they're just like they've just got the game in test mode and then they're just moving the characters around for the sake of their puppetry. I don't know.
Well, the most popular machinima of all time is probably Red versus Blue, which is a Halo machinima. Mm-hmm. Essentially, they found out that if you angle your camera, the first person view straight down, Master Chief's head will actually go and follow the gun all the way until it gets to about like his feet, and then his head will come back up. So it looks like has his arms down, but his head is looking straight ahead. So they just use that and angle the sticks up and down to make his head move up and down to simulate him talking.
Yeah.
So it's all just manipulating of in-game assets and using it as a puppet show.
Well, yeah, Ryan Walters, he's gay and nobody cared. That's right, nobody cared. And inside the story of Harlan Ellison's story from the Star Trek fan series Phase 2, nobody cares there either. Kirk does care because he finds out it's like his nephew's getting married and he's on the ship and he's like, why am I always the last one to find things out on my own ship? Not that he's gay, but that he's getting married. Like, it's just, nobody cares, man. And in real life, people don't much care either. It's in these small little circles that they're convinced that the whole world's homophobic and out there to kill them. No, that's the Middle East.
Yeah. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong.
Fuck it, I said it, and you try and tell me it's not true. Jesus Christ. Anyway, Mike Parlett's that Star Trek continues, and which is awesome. That's Vic Mignogna's series. If you're interested in either one of the things we're talking about, I highly recommend them. But BG makes a good point. He says, you expect creatively bankrupt people to come up with something new? Have you seen what they come up when they do? In some ways, it's worse than when they retcon something. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You're not wrong. And that's why I bring up the machinimas with the digital puppets. I have watched Star Trek machinimas that are legitimately worth your hour or hour and a half of time of the little script that they wrote, because it's not bad. It's totally passable as an hour and a half storytelling. Grab some popcorn and have a good time, because I enjoyed them more than I enjoyed episodes of Discovery. That's how good amateur stuff has gotten in terms of people actually giving a fuck, as opposed to six-figure salaried writers in Hollywood going, okay, so how am I going to get my Golden Globe for progressive thinking? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Motherfuckers.
It's really unfortunate too, because some of those shows have good potential, but are insanely ruined by the fact that they need to ham-fistedly cram this shit in there. Yeah.
Let's see. So James Kirk's gonna be bisexual. And back to the story. The rumor comes from scooper Daniel Richtman, who wrote on Twitter, heard they're toying with the idea of making Kirk bi in the new series. If Goldsman and company do intend to pursue this, it would be too surprising and follow Star Trek's retconning of Akara Sulu into a gay man. In director Justin Lin and writer Simon Pegg's Star Trek Beyond film, Sulu is shown in a relationship with another man and having a daughter. Yeah, he's also shown in Star Trek Phase 2 as having a relationship with another crew member of the Enterprise and having a daughter played by an extremely hot actress, I might add. And checking out, just fuck, she was hot. Anyway, and I mean, and Hikaru Sulu, what's his name there, George Takei, played that role as a gay man in real life. He played a straight man who had a heterosexual relationship with a woman, married her, and had a daughter. Big fucking deal. And now it's like, well, if we got Sulu in here and he's gay in real life, that means we have to make his character gay. Because weird thinking?
And I say, it's almost like he's a fictional character or something.
Simon Pegg explained the decision on Sirius XM radio. He stated, quote, "And that was to us as well. Why don't we change his sexual orientation? Because that would be good to do that with the character we already know. He's already prejudiced. He's already prejudged." Okay, that still makes no sense. He's already prejudged. Introducing a character because of their sexuality felt a little too pandering. And then you have to set them up. And then you have to say, oh, by the way, I am gay. And it's like, well, why? Okay, you know what, Simon Pegg? There's lots of sharpness in what you just said there. When you make a character entirely about their sexual orientation or the fact that they're a woman when they used to be a man, like they gender flip the character, or you make it that you race flip the character and you make them entirely about their race. It doesn't matter whether the character's already established or not. It feels awkward as fuck. And when you think, why not do this with the character anyway? Yeah. And it's like, well, why? Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Why did you do that at all? That extends beyond creating a new character.
Well, that exemplifies the reason why changing the character the way that they have for ideological reasons rather than for story reasons, why it's so blaring and easy to see is because it's stilted and awkward, dude. And I say you're going to have to put in those kinds of conversations like, oh, by the way, I'm gay, for no terribly apparent reason, only because you wanted them to be gay. That's the problem.
Yeah, it is. I don't. Obviously, this interview that Simon Pegg did on Sirius XM, he wasn't really talking to somebody that could have said, well, why? And it's like, can you answer us that question for why Sulu gay? And you have to, come on, man. Talk about the 1,000-pound gorilla in the room. Did you do it because George Takei is gay and that's the actor who used to play the character? Because why Sulu? Why not a different character? Why Sulu? Why Sulu of all people? Everybody knows why. Because George Takei's gay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have the balls, Sirius XM interviewer, to ask. I would have. But
yeah,
that's also why I wouldn't have an interview show for very long, because I'd ask questions like that.
Yeah.
Homophobic polydub is blah, blah, blah. Hashtag cancel polydub party. Trends on Twitter.
Well, I support that trend just on principle.
Well, and I love my thinking that I'd ever trend on Twitter. Well, I might for something extremely negative, but never for anything.
Yeah.
I mean, Twitter's always looking for enemies. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Fair.
Fuck Twitter. I think we're under the obligation to say that at least once an episode. Fuck Twitter.
Yeah. Well, we're still on Star Trek. We might as well get this. Yeah, sure. CBS All Access and Star Trek launch a Black Lives Matter fundraiser. You know what I love about it? Big and 8. So what we have here are Star Trek Discovery characters, right? And these are the remade Klingons.
Wait, you know what? I've never seen them. Here, let me. I'm begging on my end here too. What? That just looks like a lizard man. Doesn't look like a Klingon.
And possibly slightly racist.
Just a little bit.
I mean, people claim that. I mean, that's a big claim that that SJWs have made about Klingons for a long time. Because back in the day, they had white actors generally playing Klingons, and they put a bunch of brown skin makeup on them. And it's like, if Klingons are supposed to be brown skinned, why don't we just hire brown skinned actors to play them? And it's like, yeah,
Well, they did that for Next
genius.
Generation.
Well, yeah, it's like TNG. Michael Dorn, for example, playing Worf. And it, not always, but then you get a lot of skin tone variations that you didn't have back in the day because of like low down budgets, where Klingons come in like all of these shades. So sometimes they'll get, if it's supposed to be a really brown skinned Klingon, we're just going to get a brown skinned actor to play them. And like, genius. This is what they came up with when they reformed the Klingons, and people said, this is racist as hell, because the Klingons have always been like, honor-bound warrior society, and they're very emotional and violent. This is an obvious racial commentary, is what SJW type said. And it's like, okay, so to get away from that, this is what you reform them to look like.
They look like weird lizard men.
Yeah, but if you're curious, the showrunner said that he based them off of Trump supporters. Because they're this particular group of Klingons, and this one in particular, are religious zealots. And they are emotion bound and extremely tribal, and they yell and they chant. And he goes, when I saw a group of Trump supporters, that's who I envisioned the Klingons to be. And I'm like, wow. Holy fuck.
I guess they chose the right man for the job, though,
Yeah. But here we go. So, and notice CBS All Access, they've got, they've gone full pride, right?
Oh, is this also an exclusive?
Oh yeah, good question. No, this is bounding, so they don't.
Oh, okay.
Star Trek and CBS All Access have officially launched a Black Lives Matter fundraiser on Twitter. The official CBS All Access account tweeted, "Starfleet is a promise. Nobody gets left behind. For every person that tweets hashtag Star Trek Unites gives today, $1 will be donated to support Black Lives Matter, the Black Lives Matter movement. Learn more about Star Trek United donations and free Star Trek marathons here." And they make it free. And Jack Gunsky sent a tweet at me regarding this, and I'd already seen it, but thank you, Jack Gunsky. Like stuff in case I miss shit. I followed down that rabbit hole. It's like, okay, donated to the Black Lives Matter movement, meaning what? Literally to Black Lives Matter Incorporated? Because nobody knows who those people are, what they're doing. I mean, it's possible to find out. I've looked into it. I know the president, vice president, and secretary and treasurer and so forth are. But when you read their manifesto and what they're up to, they're a bunch of social identitarians and Marxists. They're not like, we want control over the local police. We want, like, I really thoroughly encourage you to go read the Black Lives Matter manifesto as put forward by Black Lives Matter Incorporated. It's, when people say we are going to donate to Black Lives Matter, what do you mean by that? Do you mean to them? Because they've got literally hundreds of millions of dollars in funding. Huge leftist causes have given them millions upon millions of dollars. George Soros, the real life Bond villain himself, gave them $30 million. And it's because of their, open borders policy, and everybody's racist and et cetera. Like, it supports George Soros's, institution's vision of the world, which is why he also supports Antifa financially. Like I said, this guy's a real life Bond villain, man. This guy's Palpatine realized. The thing that kills me about this is that I think a lot of people think that Black Lives Matter Incorporated plans to do something about police violence. No, they plan to enrich themselves, and in no particular way, with any specificity, enact some programs that will benefit, quote, the black community. So when you're giving money to Black Lives Matter, are you giving it to like an actual fund to help black businesses, like startups, or to rebuild businesses that were destroyed during the totally peaceful riots? What is it you're giving your money to? So I followed the CBS All Access thing. There's 3 different groups that they claim that the money is going to be going to, and one of them is Black Lives Matter Incorporated. So when you retweet that and you think you're doing something good, are you? Because what you're really doing is enriching a bunch of identitarian Marxists who plan to do nothing particularly that they've announced publicly with the hundreds of millions of dollars that they're receiving. It's a giant race grift. Still there, Quiz?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah, so race grifting. And they've dragged Star Trek into it. And when you see this, because just, you know what? I'm not Tommy Sotomayor or anything, and I'm not trying to be particularly mean, but could you have gotten a whiter black woman in your Twitter video?
Yes, yes, they could have.
I mean, wasn't Rachel Dolezal available? I mean, I realize that's mean, and it is, but like, what the fuck?
I still need to get her book. I still need to get her book and read it. I've been saying for a long time that I actually did want to get her book and read it, because I'm of the principle that you cannot criticize someone like that and not know their position fully. I'm fully willing to read her little fantasy book where she envisions herself as Storm from the X-Men. That is a literal thing she has said in her book. Where she said that she envisioned herself as an African queen who could control the weather. That's real.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and Functional says she's black. Maybe. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some extremely light-skinned black people out there that are not of mixed heritage at all. There's certain places in Africa where people are extremely light-skinned. It's just like, really, like, this is who you put forth. There's a lot of actors on Star Trek Discovery that, like, wasn't Michael available? I don't understand.
Michael Dorn?
No, the actor. That's her name in the show. Yeah. I got nothing. Hey, what's up, Unholy Reaper? You got Midnight in Exile and BG having a conversation in chat where they're talking about why the assumption that Trump's base is automatically religious, and they're saying, like, I can be a Trump supporter and an atheist. Yeah, of course. I mean, I hear you. It's part of their thinking. It's Hollywood. It's LA and New York thinking. Everybody but us. All the flyover states, like, they're a bunch of racist, religious rednecks. Like, that's just the mindset. It's not about Trump supporters' mindsets, or anyone who isn't even really a Trump supporter, just voted for Trump, like, not full MAGA. You know what I mean? It's just a New York and LA mindset. Everybody who doesn't agree with us must be a racist, overly religious redneck, right? Yeah, sure, why not?
Well, I mean, that's true. So,
Well, one more bounding. New rumor hints the MCU may introduce gay Wolverine.
Gay Wolverine?
Gay Wolverine.
Oh.
And I don't mean happy.
Wolverine's never been happy, but I've known for a long time that Wolverine is gay. I mean, it's just, that's just Wolverine.
Yeah. Off the heels of a new rumor that Marvel Studios was looking to bring Hercules into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, another rumor details that they might introduce a gay Wolverine. Scooper Daniel Richtman teased Marvel Studios might introduce gay Wolverine into the MCU when he shared a panel from Extreme X-Men. And there's Daniel Richtman, hashtag Black Lives Matter. Hey, man, you've absolutely made black folks' lives better. Well done. Jesus. If only I had the social conscience to change my Twitter handle to Polynub, hashtag Black Lives Matter. Because I know the difference that it makes. I know the real palpable difference it makes in the world for policy, for police policy. It changes hearts and minds. I'm telling you, it's not just a signal to your friends on Twitter. Not at all. I wish I had his courage. Anyway.
You coward, Polly.
I know. I just don't have the courage of my convictions like Daniel Richtman does.
Mm-hmm.
He went on to indicate that he would be coming to the MCU. Yeah, that's the old tweet. This version of Wolverine from Extreme X-Men is an alternate universe named James Howlett. He's the Governor General of the Dominion of Canada and Viceroy of Her Majesty's expedition into Shangri-La and hails from Earth 120125. Do you like the handlebar mustache?
Yeah.
I like the bare chestedness and the
leather. Yeah, I was gonna say my favorite there is the with the bondage harness.
Yeah, so I'm saying
You got
fit right
Gimp
in a
Wolverine
leather
over
club.
there. Yeah, you got Gimp Wolverine over there. Yeah, it's fine.
Thank you, Gamer Valine, for the $7. Apple was the only company that stayed mostly hands off for promoting black artists and producers on Apple Music. At least, as of last week, AMD announced a donation, but not specifics. Intel said 1 million plus match employee donations to the NAACP bail relief, etc. See, there's what I'm talking about. The NAACP doing what they're doing, United Negro College Fund doing what they're doing. How about supporting HBCs, historically black colleges? Like, give to Spelman, give to Morehouse for scholarships and such. There's 3-4 things right off the top, like Gamer Valine, as she suggested things off the top of my head. There's all sorts of ways you support the Cato Institute that's not directly towards race matters, but they support cases for individual liberty and have ended up actually affecting people's lives in much more palpable ways than this bullshit. How about helping black businesses repair after the peaceful demonstrations?
I could hear the sarcasm quotes when you said peaceful demonstration.
Well, you know what I'm getting at.
Yes, I know.
The peaceful demonstrations gutted a whole bunch of businesses right out of black neighborhoods, and it's like, well, and then you got Chris Cuomo up on CNN. Whoever said that demonstrators should be peaceful and well behaved?
It was the First Amendment, Mr. Cuomo.
Yeah, that's where it says it.
It's right there.
You ignorant millionaire fucker. You fool. You moron who lives behind a gated community's armed guards talking about these people meaning the rioters, should be able to burn shit down and be unpeaceful because, hey, they're trying to make a political point here. The revolution will be televised.
And Chris Cuomo will share his place in line with all of the other Republican people at the guillotine steps. So, that's all I gotta say.
The version of this character has adamantine skeleton as well as claws. The metal was gifted to him by Hercules and bonded to him. The pair went on to have a number of adventures together as well as rancorous sex. They began a romantic... Oh, shit, I was kidding. But apparently there it is. They begin a romantic relationship, so Wolverine and Hercules were fucking. And they keep it a secret because of prejudices from both the Canadian hierarchy and the court of Zeus. Fucking Canada! And they're...
Wait. The court of Zeus is going to get all uppity about shit being gay? Yeah. This is ancient Greece we're talking about here, man. You can't get more gay than ancient Greece.
Yeah, seriously. Ask an escort if she does Greek. Seriously, are you fucking kidding me? Howlett eventually gets abducted by another alternate version of Charles Xavier named Savior, who saved him from the oppression of Canada. He was used as a power source to heal Savior's broken Earth after it was severed by Magneto, and he eventually blah blah blah. So there's Hulk and Hercules getting Greek. Or not Hulk.
The oppression of Canada.
Well, what? Hercules and Wolverine getting Greek. My God. Which I forget. I am not up on my classical mythology. Is Greek is Heracles, right? Roman is Hercules?
Is there a difference? I thought he was a Greek myth because he's the son of Zeus.
I thought they were Hellenistic. Again, I am not the expert. I'm sure someone in chat's going to pop in with it. I thought Heracles was Hellenistically adopted into the Hercules Roman mythos, the way that so many of the other gods were. Like Jupiter becomes identified Hellenistically with Zeus.
Well, like I said, I only know it because Zeus is supposed to be his father, and Zeus is absolutely Greek.
Right, but I thought, I don't know. I'm sure there's a mythology podcast out there.
I'm sure there is too.
Yeah, Vol Potato says the court of Zeus. Check with Apollo on that one. Rome was mo gay. Gamer Valine, you... Um, Nintendo marketing representative partnered Twitch streamer Sloan Skipper Wolf praises Shake Shack
Who?
because they poison cops.
Who?
She's the Nintendo marketing representative and a partnered Twitch streamer named Sloan Skipper Wolf. And she praises Shake Shack because that thing that went out that Shake Shack was poisoning cops, like purposefully.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Right. Sloan Skipper Wolf.
I suspect she's not going to have a job for very long. Nintendo usually doesn't like to get involved with that kind of shit.
There you go. Mata Winter comes in with it. According to the ancient Greeks, the demigod Heracles, or Hercules as the Romans called him. So, I don't know. Is there a difference? You got me. And Functional says I'm right about the two pantheons. I don't know. I've just... So this is what tell me how much this person looks like Deerkin.
Yeah.
What is it with Twitch and social media giants, or gaming giants, putting people that are in charge of their social media stuff that turn out to be social justice wackos? Don't you ever back check these people's tweets and the like when you're hiring them? I mean, trust me, chat, when you go apply for a job that's doing something more than putting salt on fries, they are going to type your name into Google.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are tech firms. You're Nintendo, for God's sake. A Nintendo marketing representative, and they're running around going, yeah, fuck, let's poison cops. It's a great fucking idea. And Nintendo will do what? Commit to an internal review to make sure we support blah, 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 corporate speak. Anyway, let's read and find out what happened.
My favorite bit is, did Nintendo not see this one on her Instagram? Just saying.
Oh, hold on. Oh, well, let's just slide that one over.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Sloan.
Yes. Hi, Sloan.
How's it going?
Say what you want about some other people maybe not doing their due diligence and Googling, but I did.
Huh. Guess what? Pretty girls can be moronic too.
Yeah, right?
Slide that off the screen, make a copy for later.
Yeah, right?
The Sloan Skipper Wolf, a social media manager for Nintendo America and a partner Twitch streamer. So she's a Twitch thought. Evidence confirmed. Thanks, Quiz.
Yep. You're welcome.
Oh, fuck. Recently praised Shake Shack restaurant after it was alleged that one of their locations had intentionally poisoned 3 New York Police Department officers. On the evening of June 15th, 3 members of the NYPD came back sick while on patrol and believed that they had been poisoned after drinking a shake from Shake Shack. One officer reported that the shake smelled like bleach and it had a bitter taste. An investigation by the NYPD found that there was no criminality by Shake Shack's employees. I think you can take that pretty seriously, because if you would poison cops, I think the cops would be pretty hot on your tail to find out whether you did or not, if you know what I mean. Like, Jesus. One would assume, anyway. No criminality. There we go. NBC New York reported that the NYPD later said that the substance was a cleaning solution apparently accidentally left in the drink machine. However, Shake Shack tweeted that they had not heard the news that there was any contaminant in the shakes. And then here's their corporate statement. Because blue check mark, and oh look, they're gay too.
Yeah.
We're all gay this month. Wait a minute, I thought you were all black this month. Well, we're both. Oh, so what are you next month? Well, it depends. We might be trans.
Well, no. Let's say trans is included in the gay.
Good point.
Yeah, as we all know. We all know.
I think Eve and Platy might disagree with that, but whatever. Coincidentally, at the same time the events were unfolding in New York, former presidential candidate Andrew Yang sparked a casual and lighthearted Twitter debate after asking users for their thoughts on the opinion held by his two young sons that Shake Shack is better than Five Guys. No, I've had both. Five Guys is better. That's just my opinion, but there you go. My boys think that Shake Shack is better than Five Guys, right or wrong? And Skipper responded, Shake Shack, because their burgers are top tier, their cheesy fries are delicious, and they poison cops. Well,
I sincerely hope you never need to call 911, Skipper.
You know, Skipper, it's like, there's no question you're sexy, but thank God there's lots of sexy women in the world that aren't as fucking stupid as you.
Oh, yeah. Sexy women with a brain.
Yeah, can you imagine if
you
all hot women were as stupid as Skipper? Life would suck.
I would say, man, she doesn't even get top billing. Barbie's more important than you, Skipper.
Fucking prick. I was in mid-inhale.
Sorry, Polly.
You asshole. Wolf's no, I'm not calling her Wolf. She's Skipper. Skipper's response was brought to widespread attention after it was retweeted by former U.S. Representative and current Fox News contributor Jason Chaffetz, who called Wolf an absolutely disgusting human full of hate, division, and evil due to her advocating for and supporting attempted murder of anyone. Damn. Noting that Skipper soon after locked her Twitter account and removed mention of Nintendo from her bio.
I wonder if it was Nintendo that told her to do that. You know, she's no longer employed by Nintendo.
Holy fuck, that's great, man. Holy shit. That's
instant karma. Gotta love the instant karma.
So that's like, you gotta wonder what Skipper was thinking. She's sitting there, taking 35 selfies of herself, wondering which angle makes her look, the most bootylicious. And then all of a sudden, vibrations on her phone of all these people saying, get fucked. And former representative of the House of Representatives is tweeting about you. And you're like, oh shit. And then all of a sudden an email comes in from Nintendo America. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, you stupid bitch. Okay. Noting that Skipper soon after locked her Twitter account and removed mention of Nintendo from her bio, Chaffetz proceeded to tag the official Twitter account for Nintendo America and stated that the company, quote, might want to look into what Skipper tweets about, poisoning the police. Oh, Skipper. Skipper has since deleted her Twitter account as well as her LinkedIn page. As of this writing, neither Twitch nor Nintendo have issued a statement regarding Wolf's comments. Hold on. So, do you still have that picture available?
Oh yeah. Yeah, wait, hold on. I can pull it up. There you go.
So, if you want to support her soon to becoming OnlyFans account.
Yep. Thanks for the heads up on your OnlyFans there, Skipper.
Okay, that was a little mean, possibly overboard, but whatever.
No, fuck this cunt. Fuck her. I don't care. I don't fucking care.
When your IG looks like this and you're a Twitch thought and you're out there doing dumb shit and all of a sudden you're deleting everything in fucking sight, it's like, yeah, I sense OnlyFans on the future horizon for you.
Yep.
Wow, this is not the most complimentary picture of her when I said she kind of looks like Deerkin, because she doesn't look like Deerkin in that IG picture.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Damn. All right. There we go.
I was gonna look up her Twitch account and see if it's up.
Man, I mean, I did not honestly expect that to go where that went. She didn't even issue an apology. And by apology, I mean it was a joke, but I strongly support Black Lives Matter. Make it about if you disagree with me, you're a racist kind of thing. I would have thought that a coward on the internet that would have been their first move.
While Skipper is offline, check out this other person. So let's take a look here. No, no, I don't want. Fuck you, Twitch. Garbage platform. She only has what was it 4 videos? 4 videos, 4 archived videos of her playing video games.
Okay.
Let's see here. When was she last online? Schedule. Streamer has
Schedule? See what I mean?
Schedule.
You fucking limey lover. All right.
Schedule. She has not. Okay, she has not streamed recently. That's as that's what it says in her Twitch profile.
I believe it.
She in her bio it says that she's a pro Sims 3 gamer. Oh, no. Okay, I was wrong. She deleted all of her videos. Okay.
You can be a professional Sims streamer? Like, are there Sims competitions?
I don't know.
What would that even look like?
I have no idea, dude. But yeah, as I'm looking at her videos. No, she didn't get rid of all of her videos. She still has some of the highlight stuff here. You know, stuff that only lasts for 56 seconds. 56 seconds.
Well, is it stuff on Twitch taken down after a month? Like, it doesn't stay up. Like, it's not like a YouTube channel. I'm so ignorant on Twitch, man. I gotta educate myself.
You can opt to have some of the stuff that you've streamed to stay up in your archive, but you have to opt in. And I'm not sure if that's behind a paywall or not.
Huh.
Yeah, like this video right here says 7 years ago. So she's got a video here from 7 years ago. Now, I wonder what is the most recent? 8 months ago. 8 months ago was the most recent highlight.
So, I mean, what is she just like? I mean, it's just like Twitch partner, Twitch affiliate, whatever. Like, did she just?
But she's verified. She has 12.2K followers. I'm guessing with how often she streams, she's probably not got very many subscribers.
Right.
But you know, it all depends on how much titty people see in the videos. You know.
Oh, Madam Winter says, yeah, Polly, they do house build competitions. Huh.
I didn't know.
Okay. Wasn't expecting that. I guess you can compete with anything. I mean, they do have rock, paper, scissors competitions.
Yes, they do. I say it seems like she was way more active 5 years ago. So it was what, 2015?
Right.
Completely different time. So yeah, I guess it makes sense. Also, given the fact that she, had the cushy job being a rep for Nintendo, meant that she probably didn't need to do things like live stream for the simp money. But I suspect we're going to start seeing a resurgence of her account.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm saying. She probably got that Nintendo job and was just like, oh shit, I hit the big time. Be like Deerkin going around, you can't touch me, they endorse me.
Yes.
Well, she hit the big time. You know what? Okay, so we're talking about. I'm just looking at Bleeding Cool, a website that we. There's the right button. If you like, Bleeding Cool is just such a trash tier site, and they're supposed to be about comics and fantasy novels and things along those lines, but they're not. They're about their ideology and just pumping out content to have their relentless amount of advertising justified. You need to run AdBlock Plus and no script when you're over there, because the pop-ups you get and the side margins are just full of advertising shit. And if you guys heard that little rant fest that I clipped out of Cocktail Hour and put up on my channel, you know how pissed I am at that whole fucking thing. The way that people do that with their websites, just fill them full of fucking advertising, because that's the only way you can make your fly-by-night bullshit operation marginally successful, with most of your writers working on a fucking volunteer basis. You fucking hole-in-the-wall scumbags. But when you look at Bleeding Cool here, and this is just all the stories that they have up, notice one thing. Wrestling. Like it's not just comics. Like they will do anything related to. There's more WWE Raw. Like it just keeps going. Wrestling. Like I understand. Look, woke Randy Orton explains why Black Lives Matter. They're
Yeah, because the psycho that beat someone unironically in the ring to I think a couple of broken bones is a person you need to be emulating.
like it's Will Smith and Antoine Fuqua will make a runaway slave film together. Really? It's about the Middle East? Oh, you meant one about historical America. Oh. Well, why don't you do a current film? Because there's lots of possibility of runaway slaves there since slavery still exists.
Yes.
And like I said, just scrolling through their stuff here, I noticed that there's so much stuff that's just not related to it. They need space filling content. So they're willing to put up like, well, wrestling. I think some people who read comics also watch wrestling. Let's put up a whole bunch of wrestling stories. It's just the desperation of the need to fill content so they can make their advertising bucks.
No, okay, I think there is plenty of overlap between people that watch wrestling and people who read comics.
Because Bleeding Cool's always been like that. That's my point. They haven't been.
Well, no, I mean that there's definitely some overlap between them. Historically overlap. I mean, look at how many comic book conventions have for the panels. They'll have like writers and artists and stuff like that for comics, but then they'll also have several WWF and WWE wrestlers there as well. I mean, it's always been that way.
I am not saying there isn't a crossover. I'm merely saying that this is relatively new for Bleeding Cool to be doing it. And sure. I think it's a COVID thing. I think there's a lack of news coming out and a lack of things to virtue signal over. So let's just put it, what other content, what overlaps with this general community? Well, wrestling does. And, let's talk a lot more about 40K and tabletop military gaming. And so, that sort of thing. And you get a sense of it as you scroll through, you will see it all. Yeah, according to Gamer Valine, you can archive a number of things on Twitch. It's easier once you make affiliate, and then they open a bunch of VOD options. Hence, they have their upped criteria. I made it 2 years ago, and it's gotten harder.
Oh, the affiliates? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I thought she was talking about something else, but yeah. Anyway, get your mind out of the gutter. Quiz.
You said it, not me.
I was talking about the difficulty in becoming an affiliate. What the fuck were you thinking about?
Oh,
perv.
Sure you were.
Anyway, this is from Bleeding Cool. It's what brought me to the site in the first place. Is that the hashtag Back the Comeback? Have you heard about this, Quiz?
No.
Oh God. So DC got off the Diamond train, right?
Uh-huh.
So for those of you who don't know, chat, Diamond Distributors was running a virtual monopoly on distributing comics. If you owned a comic book shop, you weren't ordering from Marvel or DC or IDW. You were ordering from a distribution company called Diamond Distributors, right? They ran a virtual monopoly. The only way to get those comics was basically through them. And there was all these games that they played where if you want the special edition variant cover, you have to at least order 50 or 20 or whatever it is copies of the regular issue. They would overship constantly, all sorts of stuff. As soon as COVID-19 hit, that company goddamn near collapsed in on itself, and virtually did. They stopped paying out their vendors. They did. And in previous episodes, Comic Book Curation, we talked about that. It was just ridiculous how fast that house of cards fell in on itself. So now they're trying to do the comeback, and this is their promotion to do it. Hashtag Back the Comeback. Special edition stickers now appearing on Marvel Comics. Let me just scroll down here. There's the sticker. Our comeback will be bigger than our setback.
Is that just exclusively Diamond stuff?
Yes, it won't be on DC stuff because DC don't fuck with Diamond no more. They went with an alternate distribution network.
Well, good for DC.
Yeah. Get that monkey off your back.
Mm-hmm.
Crack that habit, man. So the story is like, Image Comics did it first this week, and Bleeding Cool was running the news a week ago because we totally need you to stay on our site to justify our relentless amount of advertising. But Marvel Comics will be joining them, including the Diamond hashtag Back the Comeback stamp on the covers of books coming out on July 15th. Let me tell you something. If I bought a comic book and there was a literal fucking sticker affixed to the front of it that said Back the Comeback, oh yeah, that comic would be coming back all right to the person I bought it from.
Yeah. I could just imagine there's going to be plenty of like street lights, telephone poles, bollards, and like all sorts of shit on the street that's going to have plenty of those back the comeback stickers just affixed everywhere.
Right? I Chad Kunsky says, I'll put those stickers on my little notebook. Yeah, man. You know, people can have back the comeback on their laptops along with their Hello Kitty and Poker Man stickers, you know?
I unironically put stickers on my laptop.
You're that guy, huh?
Hey man, if I have an extra sticker from like something I buy and they give me an extra sticker, I'll fucking put it on my laptop.
I've told you before, and I'll back you up again, man. You don't need to be embarrassed of your love for Hello Kitty. It's fine.
You know what? One of them that I do have is an actual Hello Kitty one, and I got it for free. So I was like, "Fuck it."
Press 1 in chat if you were doubting that. Image Comics did it first, but Marvel Comics will now be joining them, including Diamond hashtag back the comeback stamp on their covers of books coming out on July 15th, including a certain Empire #1. They will also have the back the comeback in-store promotions for game stores, and these are in the works and will be announced shortly. It's a weird statement. It is a weird statement. Yes, it is. I agree.
Yes.
And I have definitely heard the porntastic version of the hashtag back the comeback slogan being used by folks a number of times now. Yeah, I can think of a few ways to make that porntastic myself.
Porntastic.
Back the comeback. Just think about how many ways you can make that.
Porntastic? What does that even mean? Is
Well,
this Rich?
Yes, it is Rich Johnson. Yeah, it is. It is Rich
Fuck
Johnson.
Rich Johnston. Fuck you. That's obviously the dumbest thing you've ever put the fucking page, Rich. Fuck you.
Yeah, Rich Johnson's a douchebag. Diamond has placed the hashtag comeback on Diamond packaging arriving in stores as well as on t-shirts. Oh, can I get one of them t-shirts? Jesus Christ. But Diamond is really under the impression that they themselves are a brand. Like they're gonna give away those t-shirts and Marvel people will be wearing them, like Marvel pros, like writers and artists and editors will be tweeting out pictures of themselves wearing those shirts because their employment and gainful employment is intimately tied to this company that they have associated themselves with, apparently unto the grave. So of course they're going to be wearing those t-shirts, but I mean, no one wants to show up, you know, oh yeah, I went down to the club wearing our, our comeback will be big. Come on, man. Nobody wants that shit. Keep your fucking swag for your Twitter shills. Look, fuck. Did I ever guess that right? As well as on T-Search, one of which made its way to me. Of course they did. They sent a comeback T-shirt to Rich Johnson so he can take a man.
Yeah, Access Media at its best.
A blind man could have seen that one coming. Like I said, save it for your Twitter shills. Fuck, did I ever call that one? They did. They sent one to Rich Johnston. Fuck me, man. And had hoped that comic book publishers would follow suit. Image and Marvel have announced their plan, but it is unlikely that DC Comics will do so now. That's right, because they ain't your bitch. Centered around the appeal of our comeback will be bigger than our setback. Appeal? What appeal, Rich? What appeal? Because you hope that there's one? Because you're a fucking relentless shill? Diamond Comic Distributors and Alliance Game Distributors will state that they created a multi-phased back the comeback campaign in partnership with publishers and industry influencers, a nice way of saying ridiculous shills like yourself, to shine light on the unique relationship consumers have with their local comic and game retailers while raising funds to help them reopen, restart, and rebuild. No one believes that. It's to bring back, like, to not make Diamond sound quite so bad. It's a PR campaign for Diamond.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's that. Oh, yeah. Here's an interesting thing that Bleeding Cool actually told me something interesting. I know, weird, but Marvel to launch new Captain Britain's comics in the X of Swords, the Cross of Swords series. Um, on today's pull list video from Marvel Entertainment, the publisher announced a number of reschedulings for Marvel comic titles. Have you ever heard of this video series, Quiz?
No.
The pull list video? Okay, neither had I.
No.
I had to look it up by clicking on the hyperlink there. Apparently, it's a video that Marvel Comics does because nobody gives a fuck about Marvel YouTube because it's like cooking shows and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally, it's just nothing but like, here's She-Hulk's recipe for pound cake.
No, my favorite is still Wolverine's Southern Gumbo. Because the Canadian needs to make Southern Gumbo.
That makes perfect sense.
Yes.
But one of the comics that slides by is this one. Like as they're going by. Captain Britain #1 in the X of Swords series. And it's like, wait, what? Really? Like that's
bringing back Captain Britain?
Like that's original Brian Braddock Captain Britain, like currently Betsy Braddock and Excalibur's Captain Britain. Wait a minute. Bleeding Cool, did you just fulfill your purpose as a website? You pointed out something about comics news that I didn't know and was actually interested in? Well fucking done.
For once, they actually fulfilled their purpose.
I was amazed. I really was.
Don't expect it to happen again.
I know, I'm not. But I went over to hold on. Let me just make sure no titties come up here. No, they don't. Okay. So I go over to the Marvel Entertainment page, and this is look at the two guys hosting this show, man.
In their polos. Oh yeah, comics readers definitely look like this.
Yeah. And it's like, you are Marvel Entertainment announcing, like, and the pull list. So it's a video about what's coming out and what to expect. This is previews, basically, like the Legendary Comics previews book, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But for Marvel Comics only, hold on really quick. Thank you, Mr. Scott, for the donation. Hashtag Back the Comeback. Sounds like a hashtag for supporting Brokeback Mountain sequel. Ouch.
Ew.
Yeah, ew, too. Fucking goddamn, man. Celebrate 616 Day with the new Marvel Comics coming out in September 2020. And it's like, this should be interesting. Look at that, 21,000 views. You are Marvel motherfucking Comics, and the most you can pull in is 21,000 views announcing your new comics coming out. And these are the two, well, this guy just really needs like a new beard. Like I think he's trying to go for a Wolverine thing, and he ends up looking like he just belongs at a fetish club.
Oh yeah, big old like biker handlebar mustache.
Right. That's what I'm seeing here. But I think he's trying to go for a Logan Wolverine thing. Now, this guy over on the right, I mean,
Wolverine never had a mustache though.
No, he has the chin thing working. Like I said, I just think that's what he's going for. That's all. And this soy boy over on the right here, I actually watched this video, like the 7 minutes of it, and it is awful. It's like, hey guys, well, how's it going? Blah blah blah. And you know what's appropriate and interesting? Right beneath it, what's the first recommend that I get? Young Ripper 59. Now it's because I'm logged into YouTube right now, so of course it's recommending stuff, and I'm subbed to Young Ripper 59, Eric July's channel, and so should you, because it's awesome. But I mean, This guy's the furthest thing from a soy boy. There's people like this out there that are cool, they're interesting, they have insights into comics, they take opinions that I disagree with. There's certain things I disagree with him on in a big way. Plus, he talks politics, and personally, like, no offense, Eric July, but your libertarian stance could use some intellectual rigor, in my opinion. But his channel's fucking awesome. I watch all the videos he puts out. These are the two guys you fucking hire to do this when there's people like this, and not to mention myself and Quiz out there, that, I don't know, are a little bit more comfortable on a microphone. As soon as the camera starts, this guy goes into the whole, hey there, guys, welcome to Marvel's pull list for blah, blah, blah. And then it goes to this guy, and he goes, hi, and I'm Edgar. And it's like... Whose cousins are these guys? What
now we understand why that horrible failed platform that tried to seize a lot of this kind of shit away from YouTube. For, what was it, like IO9 or something like that?
Right. Yeah. IO9. Yep.
Why Marvel invested in Comic Book Girl 19?
Okay.
Because I would much rather watch her explain why she likes comic books than either one of these dudes.
You know what? She's got terrible politics too. Comic Book Girl 19, and
Mhm.
she goes off topic, but yeah, she's interesting. She's got charisma. She's, you know what I mean? They're not just two idiots that are probably someone's cousin, and that's why they're on there. Yeah, and what happened with Comic Book Girl 19 and the system off the rack? Marvel never paid her for that. You know that?
Really?
Yep.
They didn't?
They never paid her
Oh
for
my
it.
god. Yeah, now I can understand why she's disillusioned with comic books.
Like what shit?
She was a big X-Men fan and everything like that. She read Marvel comics, and then like she stopped reading Marvel comics because they stopped being good. And then, you know, she did that show for Marvel and ended up not getting paid
Not
for
not
it.
getting paid. She did Marvel Off the Rack was like a series that she hosted, really well produced because she's got an entire production team. She went basically full professional, like small scale, but with a producer and camera people and audio people, right? And she was the host. She put together a team, and so professionally edited from day one. And Greater Creators was a series that she put together where she interviewed all kinds of comic book creators and was happy to do so. Interviewed Claremont and different people like that. They never paid her for that fucking series, man.
That's so odd.
It's bad, and it's because it was on an attempted network platform, not IO9. I remember what you were talking about. It was 60 something, Stack 60, or I can't.
It's something like that.
Yeah, I can't. And that thing folded in on itself, or Marvel pulled its funding from it. We don't want to be associated with this anymore. And by that, didn't pay her. Well, it's like, well, I don't know. Go ask them for your money. And that network was like, no. Marvel's the one that needs to fulfill payment for contracts. And so she just go ask mom, go ask dad, and nobody gives an answer.
Okay, it's Go 90 was the name of the
There you go. Go
Yep.
90. Yeah, Marvel told her to go talk to Go 90. Go 90 told her to go talk to Marvel. Nobody ever paid her for it, and she still hasn't been paid.
That's fucked.
Yeah,
That is
and
fucked.
all the work and time and effort and interviews and all the shit that she did for Marvel Off the Rack and Greater Creators for nothing.
Yep.
Brutal.
The very first episode of that, which by the way I did watch back in the day, because I think that was 2014 around then. Very first episode of which she interviews Brad Jones, cinema snob.
No shit.
Yep.
Sweet. I would love to see Comic Book Girl 19 interview Brad Jones, man. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's okay. No context, all right? Star Wars. R2-D2 force-fed Chewbacca space drugs to kill an evil Wookiee.
What? Is this an exclusive?
No, I think they stopped that. It must have been, it's a TLDR like all of these things are. I think they stopped doing exclusives because people like us just mock the fuck out of them for it.
You know what? Okay. Unironically, I sincerely hope that people who do Bounding into Comics are watching our show. Even just like one person. Again, hire an editor. Number two, use that. Unironically, start calling all of your articles exclusives.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys are a long-time comic book curation viewer, audience member, and you're awesome if you are, and if you're brand new, hello.
Yes.
They used to call everything exclusive. They would write up an article that was half a paragraph long about something that someone said on Twitter and call it a CBR exclusive. In an attempt to seem like they're on the cutting edge of investigative journalism. And it was
Those were the days.
Yeah. Say R2-D2 force-fed Chewbacca space drugs to kill an evil Wookiee.
I still don't understand any of what you just said.
That's why when I saw this article, I'm like, oh, we got to talk about this. I mean, it's just some story that happened. It's just that's a hot headline. I got to give you credit. See, this is what clickbait should look like.
Instead, we just get thumbnails with titties and stuff.
Hey, shut up. Titties and thumbnails are a fine thing. Did you see that Catwoman thumbnail I put out today?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, I hope you guys saw it too, because I got a feeling the butts and boobs bot's going to take it down.
Yeah. Even though you spent all that time digitally removing nipples.
I did. For those of you who didn't know, that original piece of art had some pretty strong nipplage poking through Catwoman's latex outfit, and I took it into Photoshop and removed the poking nipples. I thought it looked great. It made it look that much more erotic and sexy. But hey, YouTube, they've taken down 5 thumbnails from Comic Book Curation now because they're sexually explicit. There's they're ladies wearing cat suits. You're going to see the female form. What do you want from me?
Yeah.
Blame the comic book creators. I mean, and all the guys are wearing cat suits too. If you're like wearing skin tight outfits too. I'm just not into dudes. What do you want from me? Anyway. And while I'm saying this, in the bottom right hand corner is Green Goblin grabbing Mary Jane's tit. And I'm trying to argue there's nothing sexually gratuitous going on here. No,
it's fine. It's on her wedding day. She's a blushing bride.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a joke. His hand just, it's bad perspective angle. It just looks that way, thus the joke. It's a joke, YouTube. For God's sake. Anyway.
I mean, I'd grab Mary Jane's boobie.
Well, depends on who drew her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a definitely a good point.
Mr. Scott says, I can't wait for the Chaz comic book. Yeah, right? They need to go full chop, baby.
Dude, there's a Joe Biden coloring book. I sent the cover of which to Polly the other day. It is such magnificent cringe. It is great. Cringe.
Yeah, it really is. They make Joe Biden out all like V-shaped and muscular, and it's like, yeah, come on. Joe Biden in his ultra prime never looked like that. But here we go. Let's read this article here as we see like our second last one. Yeah, this, or as everyone seems to be such a fan of saying today, our penultimate one. Yeah, penultimate does mean second to last. But why is everyone saying it suddenly? I don't know. It's like everyone reached into the word bag and found the same one. I don't get it. Anyway, Star Wars R2-D2 is not an innocent, harmless droid. The iconic R2 unit has served as a faithful companion to the band of heroes, but he's been known to commit some rather violent acts, including the time he force-fed Chewbacca space drugs to kill an evil Wookiee bounty hunter.
What?
I don't know. I just love.
Oh yeah, that one time. Everyone remembers that time. Oh, that lovable little scamp. What the fuck are you even talking about?
Did he have Chewbacca's consent? Clearly not. As revealed in Star Wars number 14, R2-D2 was an accomplice in Chewbacca's attempted murder of Black Krrsantan. Would you like to see a picture of Black Krrsantan?
Yeah, well, yes.
There he is.
That's King Kong.
Okay, wait a minute. The guy's name contains the word black. This is the way you drew him. And people are calling stuff in D&D racist?
Yeah. Is that a Disney creation, I wonder?
Well, it's Star Wars number 14. Who owns the current license for Star Wars comics? Is that IDW?
Marvel.
Is it Marvel?
Yes.
What's with all the Star Wars stuff over at Titan then? I was over at Titan's website, Titan Comics, for those who don't know. Their website today, and they've got all kinds of Star Wars stuff. There must be multi-Star Wars licenses then.
Maybe. What's the number again?
14. Star Wars, simply Star Wars 14. I mean, that's a vicious looking Wookiee, and he's got a what do they call his thing? Bowcaster? Whatever. He's got a bowcaster on his back.
You fucking nerd. You knew what it was called.
You don't need to get hostile over it.
No, I'm just
you fucking
you fucking nerd with your nerd hair. Dude, Clash of the Wookiees. Yeah, okay. Yep. Black Wookiee. Yep. Krrsantan.
I had trouble with that myself. No word should have two R's in it. It doesn't make it sound more alien. That just makes you sound unimaginative.
Yeah. So okay. I'm looking at it here, and yes, it was produced by Marvel Comics, and it was produced back in 2016.
Oh.
This is actually a 2016 comic.
Totally not racist, Black Kristan is a Wookiee bounty hunter who was frequently hired by Jabba the Hutt. Prior to the events of Star Wars 14, totally not racist, Black Kristan was hired alongside Dr. Aphra and Darth Vader to take down rebel scum and bring home Luke Skywalker. Star Wars 14 is the fifth part of a crossover story, Vader Down, blah, 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 blah. Well, Aphra's droids BT-1 and 000 confront... That's new level lazy. 000 confronted and maim C-3PO. Black Kristan, totally not racist, fights Chewbacca and Han Solo, and it looks as if not racist Black Kristan has both of them down for the count, until Solo encourages R2 to inject Chewie with something to charge his body full of adrenaline. This counteracts the effects of 000's neurotoxin and briefly turns the tides of the battle, and Chewie beats totally not racist Black Kristan to a bloody pulp. Unfortunately, totally not racist Black Kristan regains the upper hand and knocks Chewbacca unconscious before choking the life out of Solo. He killed him? So Star Wars 14 apparently is the death of Han Solo. Jesus fuck. All right. You still there, Quiz? No, Inquisitor left. Okay, well, I'm by myself. Black Kristan eventually subdued C-3PO, tries reasoning with the Wookiee, driving the bounty hunter into a frustrated temper tantrum where he punches the droid only for the exposed circuitry to electrocute Black Kristan into unconsciousness. Well, there it is. R2-D2 did legitimately use space drugs to flip Chewbacca into a blood-fueled rage to kill that guy. Totally not racist Black Kristan. Ryan Walter says Black Christian. Yeah, he had retard strength. Oh shit. All right, so I don't even know if Quiz is going to come back because I had a story about Dungeons and Dragons I wanted to cover before we moved on to comic book pitches, but I might be the only one making a pitch tonight. It'd be weird. It's a solo pitch? I'm usually alone when I do that. Let's see what I did there. Yeah, Quiz ain't coming back. Okay, here, look, guys, let me tell you something that I got really excited about today. For those of you who may or may not know, I'm a big fan of the Blade Runner series, like the original movie, some of the books that have been written off of it, and the new comic book series from Titan Comics, Blade Runner 2019, is one of the best comics to come out, in my opinion, in the last 10 years. Like, yeah, not exaggerating. It is really just that good. Simply called Blade Runner 2019. Blade Runner 2019 Volume 2 is set and up. Go away there. Blade Runner 2019 Volume 2 is up on the Titans website for pre-order. I'm excited as fuck. They're going to go ahead with Volume 2 because Volume 1 was a bigger success than they even thought it was going to be, and good. Quiz, you made it back. Well done.
On my phone.
Ow. Well,
sorry.
I appreciate your stick-to-itiveness to make it happen.
Yeah. I'd say so if I have a little bit lower quality in audio, that's why, guys.
You know what's disappointing, Quiz?
Hmm.
You apparently died and only Matta Winter gave you an F.
No, I'm sorry.
But Matta Winter cares, but no one else does.
Shame, guys.
Well, you know what's funny is that I'm the one who I looked at chat. I'm like, Matta Winter put an F, and I'm like, oh God, I didn't ask for Fs in chat. I'm a terrible man. Quiz might have had a heart attack. Like, I was just saying, the Blade Runner 2019 series I love so much. Mm-hmm. On the Titan website, they're doing pre-orders for Volume 2.
Nice.
So it's up and ready to go. They're not like, I mean, it was a limited edition series. They knew that from day one, but it was popular and successful enough. They're continuing on with it, man. Super excited.
Nice. I say I have not even started reading it yet. I've got a couple of the issues. I think I've got the first 4.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just need to go and actually read them because I was you definitely successfully pitched, man. I want these comics, and if it comes out in trade paperback, which I sincerely hope it will, because it's
Well, actually,
modern comic.
I got news about that because I got 3 quick stories on Blade Runner, all sort of related to Blade Runner 2019. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
1 to 7 are available. So like that's the complete volume 1, as they're calling it. Yep, it's available already in trade paperback.
Nice.
On top of that, there's a special edition, volume 1 art edition. That's all just the pencils, no colors or inks. Look at that.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, it's I had this brought up from beforehand, and you're gonna have to wait to see it live stream because CBR be like that.
Yeah.
This is the unwrapped David Finch edition of Batman: The Dark Knight. And DC did a number of unwrapped editions where it's just the pencils done. But as you can see here, chat, we talked about this before. Jack and I got so excited when we saw these. I didn't even know that these existed. Like, look at this art. So all of the word bubbles and everything put in like a normal comic, but it reduced, like it's a deconstructed comic all the way down to just the artist's skill, as it were. I mean, and if this doesn't convince you that David Finch is a master with a fucking pencil, look at this work. I mean, fucking hell, his page rate has got to be up at like $400 or $500, man. He's just like, holy shit.
Oh yeah.
It's like the detail that he spends on. I mean, look, this one's my favorite. I'll leave that up until.
Oh, holy shit! Look at that.
But I'll leave this one up of the Batcave of this splash page of both. I can't imagine how long this double page splash page must have taken Finch to draw. Like the detail is just fucking sickening.
Yeah.
And so these are unwrapped. There's a number of them. There's Court of Owls is available as an unwrapped edition. I've got it. It's worth like, yeah, man. And I've got this one, David Finch's Dark Knight. Had to have it because I'm a huge fan of Finch's art and stuff. But that's, so let me just get back over there and drop this. Comic capture off. Oh yeah, I guess you could see one half of it, but then you can't see the whole thing. Goddamn CDR reader. It's terrible because you can't windowize it.
Yeah, you can't only capture that window. Yeah, it sucks.
You can't move it screen to screen. It's, for those of you who don't know, it's like a comic book e-reader, and it's automatic default full screen, no options. You can't panel it and move it around or change its size and shape. It just automatically goes full screen. It's a great little piece of free software, of shareware, but it does have that flaw.
And say, yeah, it's only for reading comics. It's not for sharing comics.
Right. So you were talking about, is a collected edition available? Yep, a collected edition's available, plus the 128-page collector's edition that's all black and white like this. With extra,
that's cool.
Yeah, with extra material and stuff. I need this in my life, man. I want this because I love the art from Blade Runner so much. And as I was reading, I found out there's another edition that I have to have in my life. The Blade Runner 2019 Barnes & Noble exclusive edition.
Okay,
so it's the full collected edition, all 7 issues that make up volume 1, and it comes with the fancy little gold sticker on the outside of the package. And it's the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition contains a new variant cover that's not available anywhere else, 16 cut bonus pages that weren't included in the story. They were just cut for space. Like, they need 23-page floppy. Well, it went to 26. They needed to cut pages. All of those pages that were cut are returned, including a script and an art feature and interviews with the writers, a brief history of Blade Runner, and all of the original unpublished concept drawing for Blade Runner 2019.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's complete collected edition, $17 at Barnes & Noble. Oh, man. I
know where I'm going.
So if you want to buy a collected edition, that's got to be the way to do it right there.
Is that available now, or is that in the future?
Nope, currently available.
Awesome. I think I may go to Barnes & Noble tomorrow when I go grocery shopping.
So there it is. One thing I did want to talk about that you made it back. This is the very last story. I want to brag on that the Blade Runner stuff because I love that series so much, and everyone should really give it another shot. I was going to pitch issue number 7, but I've already pitched, I think, 3 issues of Blade Runner 2019. And as I've said before, I'm going to repeat again one last time. The thing that I love so much is that it's Titan Comics.
Yeah.
Small publication house, guys. They got the license for Blade Runner. We're going to write a canon comic. It was done great. They brought on professional writers that had written for Batman stuff, that had written, I forget all of the writing credits that the writers had. They brought on a quality artist and paid them the page rate that is their due. They just didn't get some Tumblr artist that wasn't ready for prime time yet to do it. You know what I mean? And little tiny Titan Comics produced a comic that is better than anything that Marvel or DC was putting out at the time. Yeah, it was like a big fuck you to the big two for me. And that's why I loved it. Because if Marvel would have had it, they would have been, well, okay, our main character needs to be a transsexual, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And
or she needs to be gay in some way. Yeah.
And it tells you a lot about the way that shill media works. Because the main character, Ash, is Asian. So the main character is a female and a person of color. Did Washington Post, New York Times, all the CBR, all the shill sites talk about it? No, they didn't.
No.
Like, to Bleeding Cool's credit, and ING's credit, they did say, wow, this comic is awesome. It's a must read, to their credit. But the articles that we talk about, make fun of so much, where it's like, America Chavez, super popular character because she's the first Latinx lesbian superhero. It's like, that's the only reason that it's an article. Because it's a first, right? They don't care about, and that was in the Washington Post and the New York Times that those things were written. The Washington Post put up HuffPo put up an article about gay Wolverine. Live with it. Remember when we covered where we talked about that story? That's the only time they care. And it's like, wait a minute, why? So here's Ash, who's the main character of the series. So it's a strong, independent woman is the main character, and she's Asian. Why aren't you guys talking about this? Because that's not the way shill media works. It's high-powered companies contacting their assets in media and telling them what the story is that they're going to be interested in printing it. It's a guy from Marvel, from their promotions department, calling their asset at these various news services and saying, we've got a story for you, and here's the angle that you take with it, that it's first lesbian, Latina, blah, blah, blah. And they go, okay. There's nobody, a tiny little Titan, to call anybody to say that, because they're a super small little company, part of the behind the scenes access media handshakes that go on.
Yep. And all I gotta say is the meager couple of comics that Titan has put out in the Warhammer 40K universe, when they had the license for that, top notch. Yeah, Titan's great. They care more about the art and the stories than they do about the social media hand jobs.
So here's a quick story. Dungeons & Dragons principal rules designer Jeremy Crawford confirms the game's progressive direction towards race mechanics.
Yep, I heard about this.
I hadn't heard this I've heard about the whole thing, but not the principal rule designer confirming anything. So it's on Twitter. Again, this is yet another story entirely on Twitter. Gotcha. In response to fan complaints about Dungeons & Dragons racial mechanics, fan complaints?
No, it's one person whining about it, and it's the progressive thing to do. That's what's happening.
What is Assassin of the Grey trying to help me pronounce?
I'm sorry, I can't see it.
Amica Chavez. Oh, I get what you're doing there. Okay.
Amica Chavez.
Gotcha. In response to fan complaints
sassy.
She's very sassy and spicy.
She's who don't need no man.
Yeah. Principal rule designer Jeremy Crawford has indicated that the game's design team will be moving towards providing certain races with, quote, more acceptable narratives. On June 12th, referencing how a new edition of Dungeons & Dragons seems long overdue. Didn't 5th edition come out like 2 years ago?
5th edition's been around since, I want to say, about 2013, 2014.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that means long overdue.
For some people, I guess. I don't know, man. TSR ran 2nd edition from the 70s to the late 90s. So
Yeah, but now they're owned by a major corporation and they need to make money. God damn it!
yeah,
Is Wizards of the Coast publicly traded?
yes, I think so.
Okay, well
I think.
that would explain a lot. Popular D&D account Think DM tweeted a joke noting how the orcs, drows, and Vistanis would consider this lack of update to be unsatisfactory, particularly due to their race statistics in 5e. I'm assuming that means 5th edition.
Okay, no. Vistani don't have race statistics because Vistani are not a race. What he's whining about is the fact that the Vistani are very easily drawn a parallel to the Roma people in the way people view the Romas as the roaming gypsies. All right. Here's the thing. It's based on Dracula. Were the Romani in Dracula aiding Dracula in that way? Were they? So I guess we need to go and dig up Bram Stoker and slap around his corpse a little bit for being so unprogressive, right? Go fuck yourself.
Midnight in Exile says, 2nd edition for the win! I've never played a game of D&D in my life, and I've leafed through the rule books, but I'm not going to lie, I have a lot of fun watching YouTube videos where people explain the differences and about really argue, this is better because, and then tell stories about how people have taken advantage of the rule sets to do these things, where if you've got a dungeon master that's willing to go extremely by the book rules, there's all of these bullshit mechanics that you can come up with to superpower your characters in this kind of unfair way because you're gaming the system. I find all that stuff really interesting, so I get a kick out of it when people are like, no, I do homebrew, 2.5 homebrew. I love hearing the nerdery, man. It kills me.
We call those people rule lawyers, Polly, and they are almost as bad as that guy.
Well, like I said, I enjoy the people telling stories of those people, not listening to those people. It's like, okay. Can you believe that some guy tried to pull this, like, sort of thing? You know what I mean? So yeah, this thinkdm.org sent out the sales team. We're not ready for 6th edition. This edition is selling like hotcakes. To which the orcs, the drow, and the Vistani give various ugly emoticon faces. There's a character of some sort. All the D&D nerds are just like, Jesus Christ, Polly, that's a 4th level dark drow with extra levels of stuff.
No, Polly, no one is saying that.
This prompted further discussion with a fan in which Think DM pointed towards their treatment of orcs received in the official settings of Eberron and Exandra, specifically citing how the design team dropped the intelligence debuff and the evil alignment and gave the orcs a more acceptable narrative to our racist selves who seem to see race in everything, even fictional settings. I added that last part in.
I was gonna say the major thing is that, you know, you gotta walk it back, because as we all know, orcs are just racist caricatures, right? Right?
Yeah.
Someone believe me, please.
Well, and all on those lines, and opined further that, quote, there's a fair argument for gutting the entire race system. You know what? There's a fair argument for gutting your entire racist worldview, but you don't seem too quick to do that shit.
Yeah, right?
Look at the treatment of orcs receiving, yeah, but who cares what the Confederates think? Assuming but anyway. So yeah, he basically confirmed that, yeah, they're going to make some things and do some changes. I hate to be that guy, but what about the Drow, Vistani, and other troublesome races and cultures in Forgotten Realms, like the Gur and other Roma-inspired race? Things don't change overnight, but are these on the radar? Oh, Black Lives. Like, oh, gee, dude, troublesome? They're troublesome? Why? Why? Because you've actually worn your skin right off from wringing your hands over white guilt that's a non-existent, is arguably more fictional than the D&D fucking universe you're arguing about?
Yes. Yes, it is. I mean, I can tear down all of his arguments about the Vistani in particular because that's my wheelhouse. I'm very much into to Ravenloft, but I'm just gonna sit there and say, if you want to play progressive politics, you know who I would think would be really interested to know that their creation was racist?
Hmm.
Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman, the original designers of the Ravenloft series. Oh yeah, call them racist. Do it, dude.
That's pretty nuts. I mean, I would interview the guys that were there originally and early rule designers that weren't blue check marks on Twitter and weren't afraid of getting canceled because fuck that. And Matt Winter, confirms Wizards of the Coast Incorporated is a subsidiary of Hasbro. Now that you've said that, I remember that, but it took you reminding me to say that. It is a subsidiary of Hasbro Incorporated, which, does trade. It's on the New York Stock Exchange as HAS. So there you go. Why would they pump out stuff? To keep stockholders happy? Because if your stock's not continually on the rise, and for anybody who listened to my little rant on this very channel, that's the reason for all the bots on Twitter. That's the reason for all the forced trends on Twitter, to keep the system active artificially, because they require it to keep their stock high, because they're publicly traded. If they ridded all the bots and limited how many people you could follow to an amount that a human being was actually capable of following, you're not following 5,000 people. Your fucking timeline would be a fucking nightmare. You've got all those fucking people muted so you can handle it. People that have 20 different Twitter accounts that are all run by software, subscribing to 10,000 different people. And personally, I think this is total guesswork, that Twitter is at the center of it all, running all kinds of bots to make their own system seem artificially active. There really isn't that much communication going on Twitter as it looks like externally that there is. And that's all for the sake of their publicly traded stock not collapsing on itself. By the way, this is how Enron fell in on itself. Constantly buying starting new projects, new multi-million-dollar projects over and over again, and financing them with the repayment of old debts. It was a giant house of cards, and eventually it fell apart because it was all about a game of keeping their stock going up and up and up because they were involved in new investments. Yeah, well, that can't last forever. Twitter, the MySpace of the future.
And I can't wait for the day that it happens. I really can't.
Yeah.
I'm active on Twitter. I like interacting with some of the people that I do interact with on Twitter. Any of the audience, whenever they send us articles and stuff like that, that's a great communication device. But make no mistake, if Twitter didn't exist, I'd open up, I'd put up on email or on my, on here, my email address so you guys could email me. I have no problem communicating with people in any way, shape, or form. My problem is that Twitter itself is such a vapid idea and concept, and it's so shadily run that there's no way that it cannot be the pile of garbage that it is.
I hear you. It's like I say all the time, Twitter's a sewer. Yeah, it's not a sewer because it's a micro blogging platform. That's it. That's not what makes it a sewer. What makes it a sewer is the way that it's run, the ideological curation that goes on it, the shitty application of TOS. The list goes on. That's what makes it horrible. Yeah, it's just a free marketplace of ideas. Yeah, but it's not though, is it? With the forced artificial trends and everything else, fuck off.
Certain ideas are more equal than others.
Probably. Yeah, it's perfect. And when I say artificial trends, I mean deflation of things that are actually trending. I mean, there's stuff that tens of thousands of people are talking about, and on the trend list will be something that they want. Twitter corporate wants trending, and there's only like 1,400 people talking about it. It says right there, it's like 1,428 people talking about this. And it's like there's 30 or 40,000 people using a different tag right now currently. Yeah, but we don't want that one trending. It's a curated trend list. It's exactly the same as going to the YouTube homepage. Do you think everything on there that's trending is trending just because it happens to be watched? Steven Crowder's show, like Louder with Crowder, on Thursdays, he's got like between 25 and 50,000 people watching him live every week. But yet people that are like, have like 3,000 people watching them are on that list and he's not. Why? Well, because they don't want him there. It's a curated list. Anyway, it's time for some pitches, Quiz. Are you going to be able to pitch?
I mean, I could turn on my camera and shoot it at my screen.
Well, yeah, I was thinking, fuck, if I had known beforehand you were going to run into problems, I could have brought up the comic myself, and then you kind of could have just talked about
Hey,
it.
you know what?
Do I
If
have...
I'd have known beforehand that I was going to be running into problems.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I don't know, whichever way you want to do it. I mean, I could start by...
Let's put it this way. Let me use this time and opportunity and platform to say yet again, once again, fuck Comcast.
Fuck Comcast. Yeah, you're not the only person I know that way. So what would you like to do, man? Make up your mind.
That's up to you, man. If you want me to pitch, I can pitch.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Unfortunately, I yeah, okay. Here,
You
see
can
if I
keep
can
it
do
super
this.
short if you want. Just and make sure that if you're going to turn on your camera, that we don't get a view of all of your sex toys and hentai collection.
And say, let me also do that. Wait, hold on. Is it proper? No, okay. Other camera. That's internal. There we go. All right. So my pitch is going to be.
Hold on. Let me get you on screen. I was waiting because I saw them sex toys in the background.
You saw my fingers.
Nope. Hold on.
I mean, those are sex toys. You know,
There
if you know what I mean.
There you go. You're on, buddy.
All right. So my pitch is going to be Green Arrow number 12 by Kevin Smith, Phil Hester, and Andy Parks. I really like this one because the dialogue and everything and the interactions between the characters makes this issue a lot more. And so if I can go for some of the dialogue here, because of course it's written by Kevin Smith, the dialogue is going to be the drawing part, right?
Right.
So you got at the JSA headquarters, knock knock, come in, and then Stargirl enters, and you see Black Canary here in front of a vanity getting ready for a date. You decent? If I wasn't, would it matter? Yeah, because I don't want to be reminded that I don't have your bod. Trust me, in 10 years it'll be a comforting thought. What's up? He's here, and for the record, he's cute. The heartbreakers always are, kid. Where'd you put him? In the library with Carter. Oh God, no. Hey, what's the matter? You left the ultimate liberal and the ultimate conservative alone and together in what are in the room, and that's what's matter. Don't you know what those two are like when they go at it? They're like maniacs. They're liable to kill each other. And then it cuts to Oliver and Carter Hall just yucking it up, having a good time. So is yeah, the whole premise of this episode is that Oliver and Black Canary go on this date, and in the middle of it, it gets crashed by the Riddler. But like I said, in Kevin Smith's style, it's very punchy, very comedic, and very heartfelt dialogue. So I don't know, man. That's the major draw for it, and like I said, this is just an issue that's apropos of nothing. But one of my favorite ones here is let's see here. Where is it? Can a couple of guys who died and lived to tell about it bond like the zombies they are without people busting our? Wait a second. Did you even die? I'm not even clear on the whole level. Neither am I. Kevin Smith is in a unique position that he can poke fun at the sort of tropes in comic books, and I think it shines no better than Green Arrow number 12.
That it's funny that is actually screamingly Kevin Smith writing. That's interesting.
Oh yeah,
how well it shines through. It's it's good. Do I want to? Yeah, I'll put this up too because I think you'll be interested in the comic I'm about to pitch.
Okay.
I already had showed you one of the variant covers of this quiz, but I actually went on to read the comic. I'm almost done the whole series now.
Oh, Triggerman.
Yeah, man. Thank you for spoiling.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had it up.
No, there we go. Triggerman. It's the comic that I'm pitching. Let me reorient. top of the comic, and we can't have that. There we go.
Right?
Right.
Fit.
I mean, how classic is that cover? I mean, I thought it's a great variant cover. Holy shit! It's
It's very.
It's dangerous
very
and
pulpy.
sexy and pulpy as fuck. Like, yeah, absolutely.
Oh hell yeah.
Hell yeah. And Walter Hill, yes, the Walter Hill is one of the writers of this. There's a different version of it, all different covers. Oh man, look at that! That is some great graphic art, graphic design art. This is super cool. So anyway, the plot of Triggerman is exactly what it sounds like. It's a very straightforward, hard-boiled storyline. It's about a hitman. It's the whole thing is done in this, like, the color palette that they pick is like perfect for the period. I mean, look at this stuff. It just looks fucking great. And it's got all the accompanying dialogue that you would expect. The happenings of this particular issue, what goes on in it, is that the hitman shows up at a woman's apartment expecting someone there that he's got a contract to kill. But instead, there is a woman in the bathtub waiting for him that he did not know was going to be there. And he ends up getting into this conversation with her about, like, why do you do what you do, and so forth. And he's kind of like, don't bug me, dame. I mean, I like your gams, but stay out of my business. And that whole, oh shit, look, I'll be editing that part out.
Well, it's fine. Just age restricted. You know, people show softcore porn on YouTube. It's fine.
God damn it! Fuck.
So you showed a titty. Who cares?
Well, it's a good thing I didn't go to the next page, because there's I mean, if there's a
full frontal,
no full rear roll. There's it's her getting out of the bathtub when the hitman walks in, and she's getting out of the bathtub. So there's like, if there's a butt detector, they're definitely going to detect her soapy butt.
Yeah.
In any case, this whole series, Triggerman, is great if you're into the hard-boiled genre, which I absolutely am, and all of the issues, and like, let's drag the guy into the interrogation room and see what's going on. There's nice layers of suspicion. Are you a common crook, or are you more than that? All play out throughout Triggerman. It's absolutely worth reading. It's a great 40s, early 50s throwback, and Walter Hill's got his fucking fingerprints all over it, man. It's just,
oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. And if I ever wanted to read a comic, like, judging a book by its cover, yeah, man.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't just that. I mean, that obviously is very sexy, very dangerous picture, very pulpy. But then when I saw this one, I was like, oh, fuck yes. Like,
yeah. That one's really cool. I'm a sucker for that sort of build up too. You know, you've got like the silhouette of a thing, and then you superimpose another image over the thing in the silhouette. I'm a sucker for that. I think it's a really neat design, and seeing that. And what is that? A townscape on fire?
No, it's all of the city lights. It's like a town thoroughfare.
Oh, okay.
Right, like, because you could see all the cars. Like, this is where the theater district would be here, and there'd be like some cabarets around there, and it's at night, so all their lights are blooming. That's what it, you know.
Okay, so it's like 1940s Times Square sort of thing. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. And it's like, and like, this is where he plies his trade, and like, oh fuck yes, like. The gun, I'll be that guy. I'll point it out. That gun is anachronistic. It's not period correct. But it doesn't matter. It's fine. There's no gun that has that silhouette that existed in the 40s, but that's okay.
Oh my goodness, I'm back. My internet is back.
Oh, is it? Nice.
Yes, finally.
Well, just in time, because the show is over.
Oh, God. No. There we go.
No, not there we go. We got two of you.
Oh. Okay.
Wait, hold on. What the fuck?
No, just mute the wrong one, Quiz. I don't know which one of you.
There we go. I'm fine. I'm fine now.
It's a totally professional show.
The train would come at this exact point.
Oh, fuck. Evolved Potato says it's artistic in reference to the boob slippage. Yeah, I mean, I hear you there. You can go watch, as Weebo Jones found out to her shock and amazement, full, completely nude yoga, in addition to softcore porn films. And somehow, because it's labeled as art or educational or whatever, yeah, this was what would we call it? This was artistic analysis. And yes, there are nudes in art sometimes. Should we not show Renaissance era art where there's all kinds of nudity? I think not. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine.
All right. On that note, that brings us to the end of the show. And I would like to thank everybody for showing up. If you haven't already on your way out, please hit that like button. If you are so inclined, please retweet the tweet that I sent out inviting everybody to come by the show so they'll know that it happened and where they can find it and where they can find the back catalog of shows and future ones of the like. I would like to thank everybody who donated. That is sincerely generated. You guys keep the sincerely generated.
Sincerely appreciated. There you
It is generous and appreciated turned into generated.
Mhm.
Whatever.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's clearly time for me to go get something to eat. I had a piece of toast earlier today, and that was it. And it's showing. Yeah, caffeine, well, great, is not sustenance.
No, it is not.
No. So thank you very much to everybody who donated. It is sincerely appreciated. Anybody listening in the future, please feel free to comment below. I get a chance to read read all and respond to most. And finally, I would really like to thank Evolved Potato for posting our links throughout the stream. That is actually really helpful, and we really appreciate it. Quiz, any final thoughts?
Read more comics. I am endeavoring to do so myself.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to add. I'm not going to tell you where, because legal reasons, but if you're interested in reading Triggerman, you don't have to buy. You can read it for free online. Just search for Triggerman, read online, and you can find it in high-res copies. And I don't mean torrent. I just mean like JPEG images that are up. Feel free to look that up yourselves, because the whole short series is up there and available, and it's absolutely worth your time, and it's a free read online. I will.
Sweet.
Yeah, so there it is. So thanks once again to everybody who donated. Hit that like button, and we will talk to you again next week.